feeling.
All right. How are you doing?
Better.
Better?
I've been better.
All right. So I received a report where they're requesting early termination for you, potentially, or either to extend your case. So you know what I always ask everybody, because you're here for a drug case. If you give a UA today, what are the results going to be?
I will be honest, I will still come out positive.
All right.
Last UA submitted, Your Honor, if I may, I apologize for interrupting. It was on the 28th, and it was positive for marijuana.
All right. So this is where we are. You are not allowed to use marijuana while you're on probation. It's just you can't do it. So you have a choice to make. What you're on probation for is a state jail felony, and you're on deferred adjudication. So if you were revoked, you're looking at 2 years at the state jail facility, potentially. So the question for you is, do I want to potentially go to the state jail facility for 2 years over marijuana? Is marijuana that important to me?
No, it's not.
You're acting like it is. And so what I can tell you is, I received this supplemental report, and you know what 3 choices they gave me? They said, do you want to extend this case for 6 months? Or do you want to terminate this case, which means you're done with probation? If you would have came into this court negative, I probably would have agreed that you could be off probation, but you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You've taken the classes, but you're not internalizing anything. It appears that your go-to is, let me use marijuana. I had a good day. Let me use marijuana. I had a bad day. Let me use marijuana. I had friends in college, and you know what they would tell me? They would say, oh my gosh, the air is so crisp and cool. This reminds me of great days. I'm like, what great days? They're like sitting on the balcony at the apartment smoking marijuana. I never smoked marijuana, but they tell me that there are some good memories sometimes that people have associated with that. You are making bad memories by using marijuana. And you will continue to be extended, or maybe a motion to revoke is going to be filed on you for using marijuana. When you're on probation, you're not allowed to use marijuana. You're not allowed to drink alcohol. Those are the rules. Those are the rules of Texas. You go in any courtroom in Texas, and guess what? You can't use marijuana. You can't drink alcohol. Do you have children? How many?
2,
What are their ages?
11 and 12.
They know their mom uses marijuana, because I guarantee you, your clothes smell like marijuana. If you've ever hugged your child, they're smelling marijuana. They don't want to deal with that. They don't want to have the mother who's smoking marijuana. And if you have a boyfriend in your life who thinks it's great for you to be smoking marijuana, and you're smoking marijuana with him, you need to cut him loose. You know why? He doesn't care for you. Because if he cared for you, he would tell you, baby, you can't be smoking marijuana because you could potentially go to the state jail facility for 2 years. And Vashon will tell you, I've sent women to prison, women to the state jail facility, men to prison, men to the state jail facility, because we can only do so much. And after that, we'll move on to the next case. Do you understand? So guess what's going to happen today?
Getting extended.
Yes, you are. And you know what comes with that? More reporting, more fees, all of that's going to pile up on you. And you know whose fault it is that you're getting extended?
Mine.
Yes. So the next time you think about smoking marijuana, you need to ask yourself, do I want my probation extended? Do I want to go to the state jail facility for up to 2 years? If your answer is yes, then you go ahead and you smoke your marijuana. And guess what's going to end up happening? Your children will not be with you potentially for 2 years. And in that 2 years' time, anything can happen, because I don't care what anybody says. Good mothers, nobody loves a child like their mother if it's a good mother. If it's a bad mother, then you can't say that. Do you understand? Be a good mother to your children. All right, we're going to extend her, and I'm going to want her tested for levels. And if those levels do not start to drop, file a motion to revoke. And I will hear your case. Maybe you'll be brought over dressed in blue. Maybe you'll bond out, but I will hear your case if those levels go up. Do you understand? So how often are you using marijuana? Is it every day?
No.
When?
When I do have bad days,
All right. And why are you having bad days?
who doesn't?
Is it like
Right.
life?
Yes, it's hard being a mother, a daughter, a sister, a girlfriend, a cosmetologist, a felon. It's a lot. I make sure everybody's good. Nobody makes sure I'm good. I try
Oh.
to talk to my PO. My PO tells me she doesn't get paid enough to hear it. Like,
Oh, no. Let's not start with that, because let me just tell you something in this court. I do not allow people to speak badly of other people when they're not here.
Okay.
And I know that I've told you what I tell everybody else who comes in this courtroom. If you have an issue with probation and they're not addressing it, you can always come in, because we're always here Monday through Friday. And you can always come in and address it with Miss Abrams, or come in and address it with me. And if you feel like Miss Abrams is not hearing you, I will hear you. But I can tell you right now, she always hears people.
Mhm.
So don't come in here saying probation is saying, I don't get paid enough for this. And honestly, they don't get paid enough. But probation officers from the 187th, they don't say that, because they know that my key thing in court is everybody needs to be kind to each other. Even if you fake it, you better fake it with an Oscar-winning performance that you care and that you're kind, because everybody has bad days.
Mhm.
So what are your issues? Why are you using? You say you have bad days, your boyfriend not listening to you. Well, if your boyfriend is not listening to you and he's a part of the problem, then you need to ask yourself, do I need this boyfriend in my life? Because if they're not bringing anything positive to the equation, you know what that means? They don't love you. You're just a stop along the way. I know you're probably not listening to me,
No, I am.
but that means that there's certain people that you need to cut out of your life. And sometimes the worst people in your life is family. And sometimes you got to cut family out of your life. People always say, you don't choose your family, you choose your friends. Well, you're choosing bad people.
Yeah.
So, and then if there are family members who are not any good to you, once you evaluate it without the cloud of marijuana, then maybe they need to be cut loose. There's no harm in cutting family loose. You send them a card at birthdays, Christmas, and Thanksgiving, and the holidays, and call it a day. So what else is going on? Is there some mental issue that we need to discuss?
Mm.
All right, you can't use marijuana. What are you suggesting?
Your Honor, we have listed the relapse prevention stay and quit program,
Okay.
and I think that would suffice.
All right, we're going to extend 6 months, amend conditions to the relapse prevention program, stay and quit program.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to want her tested for levels.
Yes, Your Honor.
And is there anybody she can talk to when she has issues? Me, if something comes up in my life, I can always pick up the phone and call my mom and say, this is what's going on. I have the support system. Do you have anybody that supports you and looks after you? Is that a no?
No.
All right. So is there any?
I'll talk to her.
All right. So she's going to find out if there's some support group you can get involved with. There are always support groups out there, even if it's you in a book club or something. There's always people you can talk to, because book club stuff sometimes spills over into life. And you probably need to get involved in a group. It could be a travel group. It could be a book club group. And at some point in time, you're going to meet somebody and they're going to be your friend. And that friendship will go outside the book club. And it may be somebody you can talk to with different issues. You understand?
Mhm.
All right. So do not come back here testing positive for marijuana. I'm going to say this again. If you have an issue and you feel like your probation officer is not addressing it, you can always come to court,
Okay.
except for Saturday and Sundays, because we're not here. All right. Jose Sanchez. All right. So where are we on this? And counsel, you're on this side.
Sorry.
Where are we on this case?
Judge,
Was the video?
Yeah, so we did hear back from Alamo Heights. Apparently the video was destroyed.
Mhm.
There is audio, but it's incomprehensible.
Okay. So where are we on this case?
Well, Your Honor, I think that it's that I need to bring a motion to address that issue based on the destruction of the earth. I don't know if I can call it destruction, but based on the loss of the evidence, Judge.
Okay. All right. And when was the evidence destroyed?
Sorry, Judge, let me just pull up on my
Sure.
email here. So I think it's
762-160.
Court may recall that initially they said they didn't have any recording devices.
Mhm.
And then we subpoenaed them, had a hearing. Your Honor was not present, but so we had it in front of a visiting judge. And they came and testified that the video was just destroyed.
I think it's like 911 calls are purged from their system after a certain amount of time. I believe that this the video is not of the incident that we're here today. It's after the defendant is in custody. It's a surveillance video of the holding cell, right?
Yes, where he
Yes.
was allegedly questioned by deputies.
All right, so with regards to the video on the holding cell, because this is a felon in possession of a firearm.
That's correct.
So how is that connected to the felon in possession of a firearm?
Well, Your Honor, it's not a direct connection, but without going into too much detail, there is allegedly a relative or Mr. Sanchez's boss was doing a construction project in Alamo Heights. The allegation that we would make, verified allegation by Mr. Sanchez, is that the Alamo Heights Police Department has a deputy who may no longer be working for him, but was at the time, who was sleeping with.
The thing is, the reason I want the video, the reason I wanted the video is because I was sitting in the holding.
All right, everyone, please whisper.
I was sitting in the holding cage. And when I'm sitting in the holding cage, because it's not a cell, I'm looking in their offices while he's processing all my stuff. And the commanding officer comes out and asks him, "Why'd you pull him over?" And he says, "I put him over because I saw him and I felt like something was off." It's my understanding that's not probable cause. That's discrimination. So I was asking for the video so I could prove that. And then when I asked for the video, it's destroyed. I asked for it back in April. And
No, I know you asked for it in April, so I'm trying to figure out when this video was alleged to be destroyed, because if it was destroyed after April, then there's going to be a problem.
Yes, ma'am. I have an email chain from this is from Ginger Liao, who's the administrative assistant for records for the Alamo Heights Police Department. So we requested, that was August, when defense made the request for the video.
April, I believe. And then we had to do a subpoena in August. Because they,
Excuse me. Yes, please. All right, Norma. On Mr. Sanchez, we're going to need to have a date for a hearing, and it should be fairly short, and one witness.
We can do September 28th.
All right, so we're going to put it on September 28th for the hearing. And if somebody could also have that audio so that we can see if anything can be heard on the audio.
Yes, Judge. Do you want to hear from the officer too? I mean, while we're talking about.
Whoever you all want to call is okay with the court, and the court will hear the evidence.
Can we get both officers?
Sorry, what?
Can we get both officers, the commanding officer too?
Well,
I'll talk.
that'll be up to your defense counsel and who the state want to call, but my main issue and what this hearing is supposed to be about is about the video that I'm being told no longer is in existence. Okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Jose Sanchez. All right. Yes.
Sorry to delay, Judge. We have a witness here from Alamo Heights. And, I think that's the move, is to bring her up first. Right?
Yeah,
Or
Judge.
you have a motion too.
well, by way of background, Judge, last time the court had
Set a hearing for a video
and
purge.
wanted to specifically know when that video was destroyed. So
Yes.
the state reached out and said, asked them that question. They sent 3 officers, including Detective Pruitt. I think it's a Detective Pruitt.
Yeah, I think it's
Deputy Chief Pruitt, none of which can answer the question. There is somebody that can. His name is Marcos. And asked him, well, why isn't Marcos here? And they said,
Well, let's find out.
they're not going to send him without a subpoena. That's what they said. So she's here. I'd like to get that on the record.
All right. Well, let's please do what we do.
Okay, so do you want to call Deputy Chief?
I guess so. Yeah.
All right. Court is calling 2022 CR 10. Oh, she doesn't have to be unless she wants to sit. Court is calling 2022 CR 10642 State of Texas versus Jose Sanchez, Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Hank Wilkins for the state.
defense?
Eric Baker for Mr. Sanchez, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The reason we are here is the defense alleges and your client alleges that there was a video in a holding cell of your client, and it is potentially Brady
Yes, Your Honor.
with regards to this case. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. Yes.
All right. State, are you prepared to proceed?
We are, Your Honor.
Defense, are you prepared?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state, do you have any witnesses?
Well, it's really, I guess more of a defense witness.
Yes, I wouldn't mind taking the lead of the state's opinion.
All right. Who would you call?
We would call
Deputy Chief.
Deputy Chief Pruitt of the Alamo Heights Police Department.
All right. Deputy Chief, if you could raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I did.
All right, you can lower your hand. Just make sure you keep your voice up for the court reporter. If you could state your name for the record, please.
Cindy Pruitt.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy Chief Pruitt, thank you for coming in today. So, Deputy Chief, the video that the court was talking about, you're aware of what video that we're talking about, correct? That we're looking for?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, before we get into that, I just want to ask you, when we initially asked for this video, we got word back from your department that there are no videos taken in that area of the department. Were you the one that conveyed that information to Mr. Wilkins?
No, I'm not sure what you mean. There are no videos taken.
So the first request to your office from Mr. Wilkins requested the video that we're talking about today. And my understanding is that your understanding that your office replied back that there was no videotape in existence. In fact, there was no videotape equipment to videotape at all. Was that your response from the office?
No, that wasn't my response. And in fact, I didn't respond to that. I'm not sure. Do you have the response you're questioning
Okay,
about?
the state has your email, but I'll move on. I wanted to know if you're aware of that.
All right, and counsel, so that the record can be clear, when you speak of video, what video are you talking
Yes,
about?
the video of Mr. Sanchez upon his arrest when he was in the holding cell or near the holding cell in Alamo Heights Police Department. You aware of that video?
I'm aware that that video doesn't exist because it was purged from the system. Yes.
Okay. And one of the main question, this isn't our first time here, maybe your first time here, ma'am, is the court had a question, and I think I did too, as to when that video was destroyed. Do you have personal knowledge as to what day it was destroyed?
No, we attempted to recover the video, but we don't have any way to determine when it was destroyed because it's a surveillance system that is on a loop. And as new video comes in, because it runs 24 hours a day, it's a very small server. The older video purges off and it just is replaced by the new videos.
You can't testify today as to when that video was purged, correct?
No, sir, I cannot. I can testify to the fact
That's just a
that,
yes or no question, ma'am.
no, sir.
Ma'am, I just talked to you in the back, correct?
Yes,
When we talked about, I asked you, is there anybody who can make that determination or tell the court? We spoke about someone named Marcos, correct?
that is correct.
And when I asked you, and you sent an email to Mr. Wilkins yesterday or 2 days ago, yesterday and Wednesday, that he would not be,
Counsel, if you could slow down.
certainly, that he would not be in attendance today. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And when I asked you why back in the back, you said somebody made the decision that if he wasn't under subpoena, they weren't going to send him. Is that correct?
His leadership for his company made that decision, yes.
So he's really the witness we need to talk to today, not yourself, correct?
Well, there is his supervisor is available today by phone.
Can you come in?
I just found this out right before I came in here. They said they would make him available by phone.
Does he have knowledge of what we're looking for in the background so that we don't have to start over with him?
Yes, he has knowledge, yes.
Okay. When could he come in physically?
Oh, that I don't know. I didn't ask him.
Is he available to appear by Zoom?
I believe he's with an IT company that is our vendor.
All right, counsel, would you have any objections to him appearing by Zoom?
I would not, Judge. I just want to make sure that I know that Marcos has information. I'm just curious as to why we can't produce Marcos. His supervisor is going to be a level up, and Marcos has hands-on
Well, is Marcos available to appear by Zoom or does he want to,
When I
subpoena?
spoke with his supervisor just a moment ago, Your Honor, he was directly involved with the process with Marcos. And he is a higher level IT technician than Marcos even is.
All right, so the defense wants Marcos here.
I
Is
think,
that correct?
I think Marcos and his supervisor, Judge, just based on the history of this case, Your Honor. I mean,
All right, so I like to cut through the chase. Is Marcos and his supervisor available today by Zoom?
I would have to ask, Your Honor. I asked if they could be available by phone, and he gave me his phone number and said that he was. I didn't ask about Zoom.
All right, does anyone mind us taking a short break so she can see if they're available by Zoom?
Not at all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Your Honor, they do have an answer to give to the court.
Okay. So are they going to have the person here or no? We really need a subpoena.
I guess, Judge, I think that you have other remedies, but yeah, I mean,
All right, I'll come forward. We're back on the record in 2022 CR 10642, State of Texas versus Jose Sanchez. All right. And Deputy Chief, what are the results of your inquiry?
Their HR department is denying them showing up on Zoom. And they said that because they were asked to do a task, they completed the task and they recorded all of the information on the ticket, which was then emailed. That's the only involvement that they have.
All right, well, if you will let them know, they can appear by Zoom or they can be subpoenaed, which means,
Should advise them of that, Your Honor.
all right.
Do you have any objection to me submitting this to the court? This is.
actually, I was gonna, no, not at all. In fact, I was gonna submit that, Judge. There's an email chain that I think was.
All right, do you all want to remark it? And then I'll accept it.
Do you want to make it your exhibit or?
Joint exhibit.
I said, if they mark it and offer it into evidence, I'll accept it. If there is no objection.
No, Your Honor. In fact, I was gonna offer that.
All right, if you could do it as Defense Exhibit 1. Thank you for trying. I know it's not your fault.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, defense would offer Defense Exhibit 1. The state actually just provided to me. It's an email chain from August 14th through the present, correct?
August, it might be, I'm sorry, can I see it for a moment?
Sure. Or well, yesterday, I guess that the present was probably.
So it should, the earliest communication in this chain is going to be August 7th.
Okay.
Okay.
And is that, yes. And so we would offer that, Judge.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, Defense Exhibit number 1 is admitted. Is there any other questions for the Deputy Chief?
No, Your Honor, but if we could stay after she's excused, just so I can address the board on the issue.
I have just a couple of questions.
Yes.
So, Deputy Chief, when you were speaking to the IT folks,
All right, just 1 second. Excuse me. If you all are behind the court reporter, if you all could move your conversation and move the inmates this way, that way it's not behind her. All right, you may continue.
did they tell you how far back that those videos are saved on the server from that particular camera?
They said when they started looking after our request to see if they could locate the videos only existed back to March 12th, 2023.
2023, okay. And the date of offense is in 2022.
That's correct.
Okay. And so have you made a diligent search for these videos once you were notified by the Bear County DA's office that we were looking for any additional videos?
Yes, sir, we did. We like I said, we reached out to our IT provider and requested their assistance in trying to recover any purged videos.
Okay. And so I've spoken to Ginger Leal, one of y'all's employees and she.
Oh, Hank, could you speak up?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Sorry, Diana. When I spoke to Miss Leal, she looped you into that email chain. And so some of your emails and some of your efforts are reflected in that exhibit, that email chain, right?
That's correct.
And so could you just tell the judge kind of briefly what you did once we were looking for the videos?
I reached out to Barcom. I submitted a ticket, which is how we request assistance, and asked them to see if they could look through the Exact Vision server and find any video that may have been purged and see if it was recoverable on the date in question.
Okay. And could you describe how that server works just briefly to the judge? it's sort of, it's running, is that camera running 12 hours a day, 24 hours a day?
24 hours a day. That server, it operates not only the holding cell camera, but the camera inside the patrol room, the cameras in City Hall, and our parking lot and public works yard. So the server runs 24 hours a day. And so as new information comes in, or new video comes in, old video falls off.
And so it's your testimony that this thing is running. As it fills up, the old videos are removed to make room for the new videos.
They are purged from the system to make room. Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else that I forgot to ask you that you think it's important the judge to know?
No, sorry.
Is there anything else that I forgot to ask you that you feel like it's important for the judge to know?
No, sir.
I passed the witness, Judge.
Deputy Chief Pruitt, the description of how the server works that you just gave to the state, is that from your personal knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, so what training, background, experience do you have in technology or servers? And
I don't.
Okay, so how did you ascertain personally how that server works?
That's how it was explained to us when it was installed
So,
in 2014.
okay, so that was my question. Your testimony you just gave is based on what somebody told you, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And who was that told you that?
It was 2014. I don't recall.
Okay. Now, are you aware, and maybe I asked you this before, that the prosecutor, Mr. Wilkins here, upon his first request for video of the holding cell area, the response from your department was, there is no camera there. Are you aware of that?
No, sir. Where was that response, if I may ask?
Okay, well, I'm part of the state. I just wanted to know if you were. I just wanted to know if you were aware of that.
All right, everyone, please keep your voice up because everyone starts with their voice this level and then you trail down and lower your voice, and it makes it difficult for the court reporter to hear and for me to hear.
Certainly. I feel like I'm yelling in her ear.
No, you're not yelling.
Okay. So, so that wasn't true. If somebody told the state from your office that there was no video recording equipment in that area, no videos taken, that would not be the truth, correct?
That would be correct. There are videos that the cell and the patrol room are video recorded.
And why is it that you record videos there?
Primarily, it's an observation. Our dispatchers monitor the cameras, just like they monitor the City Hall cameras and the parking lot cameras in case there is a problem with a prisoner.
And those videos are saved, at least still accessible for some period of time.
That's correct.
And do sometimes defendants make confessions on those videos that you can then send to the prosecutor?
Our confessions are recorded on our body worn cameras.
Okay. If have someone in a holding cell, it would, and they confess there, it would also be captured on the video above the holding cell, correct?
I suppose it would be the microphone is not a very good one.
In fact, that brings me to my next question. Is the device that takes the audio down the same device that records the video?
I do not know.
Okay, because there is still in existence audio from the day of Mr. Sanchez's arrest, just not the video, correct?
To my understanding that some audio files were recovered, but they are almost incomprehensible. You can't understand what is being said.
I would agree. I'd try to can't hear anything. So that's so you don't know if there's two separate recording.
No, sir, I do not.
Okay, so we would probably be better off asking those people that we've spoken about today, correct?
Big State Electrical, from my understanding, Big State Electrical is the one that installed the exact vision.
Okay.
And that is part of Barcom's contention, is that they are not the subject matter experts on the exact vision.
Electrical companies install servers, but they don't understand how servers work, correct?
Not any more than I do, probably.
Right, okay. At this time, Judge, I don't have any further questions.
All right, any further questions?
No questions, Judge.
All right, I have a couple of questions. And counsel, I believe you'll be able to answer when the video was requested.
The video was first requested.
I have June 22nd.
That sounds about right.
What date?
June 22nd.
And is that June 22nd of 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and that's what I have on the docket sheet. When was it purged? Do we know the date or not?
That's what the court was trying to find out. For some reason, we can't seem to get to the bottom of that. It's a very simple question.
And will the persons who are going to be subpoenaed, would they know when the video was purged?
No, ma'am, I've asked that question repeatedly and they say there is absolutely no way to determine that because of the way it operates.
Okay.
My understanding, Judge, is when you first requested the video, they couldn't get anything before March 12th of 2023 off the server.
That's correct.
So it's not as if I don't think there was any on purpose erasing or taping over or anything. I believe the way that's my understanding of the way the server works is it's kind of running all the time, 24 hours a day.
And I don't mean to be.
So we'll need to have that witness come in to testify to that. So the video records that we are seeking, and I say we, but that defense wants, is that the videos for prisoner cell 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor. Holding cell. Yes, I guess it's like a cane.
It's a holding cell.
Okay.
All right, holding cell 1 and 2. And you're stating that the video from holding cell 1 and 2 has been purged.
That's correct.
The audio, is there audio in holding cells 1 and 2?
My understanding that they're, you mean all the time?
Yes.
All the time, yes.
All right. The audio from holding cell 1 and 2, is that, do you still have that or was that purged?
It's my understanding they recovered some and it was given over to the court.
All right. And when you say recovered some, is it recovered some of Mr. Jose Sanchez?
It's hard to tell. because
Interaction?
It's audio only, not video. And the audio, from what I understand, is you can't understand what's being said.
All right. No, I understand that. But the audio is it the audio that would have been playing or recording when Mr. Sanchez was in holding cells 1 and 2?
Was recovered, the audio that was recovered was during the time frame that we requested.
So the only thing that has been purged is not the audio, it's the video for holding cell 1 and 2.
From my understanding, it was all purged, but they were able to recover audio only.
Okay, no. I'm off the audio now. I'm back to video.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So my understanding is, and I just want the record to be clear, the video from holding cells 1 and 2, when Mr. Sanchez was there, has been purged, destroyed, cannot be recovered.
That's correct, ma'am.
All right. And other than the video and holding cell 1 and 2, counsel, is there any other video that may have what you're looking for?
Your Honor, I was informed through this process that there is also a camera in the office adjacent to holding cell 1 and 2. I did not ask for that because I was not aware of it, and I will offer for the record, and maybe we can put this on the record, that the reason I wasn't is on my first request, I was told through the state by the Alamo Heights Police Department that there was no recording devices, that they did not record in the court.
All right, Deputy Chief, do you know whether or not the camera that's adjacent to holding cells 1 and 2, if there would still be a video available during the time that Mr. Sanchez was there, or has it also been purged?
I can say that it all operates on the same system. It would be my assumption that it was purged, but I can ask them to look.
All right, if you'll ask them to look into that, and then what we will do, the parties who are not here, we'll place them under subpoena and let them know they will not be allowed to appear by Zoom. They were given a chance to appear by Zoom, so they will have to come to Bexar County 187 District Court and appear in person.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else of this witness?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you so much for coming down. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Your Honor, if I could, because I don't want to, I think it's important for the future record, and I don't want to ask the prosecutor to be called. Can we agree that your first response from the Alamo Heights Police Department was that there was no recording?
Yeah, so sorry, Judge.
Well, let me ask you this before he goes on the record. Is that in Defense Exhibit number 1 that's been tendered to me, the emails?
I believe.
So what the detective emailed back to me is the only video available is what was uploaded. The suspect was never interrogated.
All right, so is that in in defense exhibit number 1, that conversation?
I don't know, Judge, because it was actually provided by the state. It's not, one of the things I was going to ask before we leave is that all emails concerning this subject matter with any member of the Alma Heights Police Department or the city of Alma Heights be turned over to the defense, because at this point, I think it's necessary to get to the bottom of this.
I don't think it's in here, Judge.
Okay, so if you'll get that email and then the court will review that. Now, with regards to the witnesses that need to be subpoenaed, when will they be subpoenaed?
I can do that this week, Judge. I've got to get my investigator going out. I don't mind doing it, Judge. This is not a civil case. I really believe they have an obligation to have that very simple question of how that server works. I've been doing this a long time. I've never had any agency not be able to answer that question.
No, I understand what you're saying, but they want their subpoena.
Sir, to answer your question, Judge, I will do that tomorrow. I can't do it today, Judge, but I'll do it tomorrow. And
No, that's fine. What day would you like to come back?
May I just look at my calendar?
Yes. And we will get to the bottom of everything.
Judge, can I just print a copy of this email and send it? Or?
Yes. And if you'll make sure that he has a copy.
Yes.
Your Honor, if we can, just so we have a couple of weeks to get the investigator out and get maybe the 16th or the 17th.
All right, Ms. Fergus, can you recall this for the 3rd week of October? All right, and those witnesses are to appear in person. Yes.
And Your Honor, as far as the emails, I know there's a lot of them. I don't think they're privileged. I don't know. I mean, I can bring a formal motion, but it might help for the record.
Well,
if they can read it.
Here's the thing. The state will review it.
Okay.
And if it's something they feel like they should not give you, they will let the court know.
Okay, that's fine. I trust this prosecutor. I'm just trying.
Yes. Yes. All right, Mr. Sanchez, we're going to come back on October 19th to finish up this hearing. And state is offering into evidence state's exhibit number 1. Any objections? It's an email.
No, Your Honor.
All right, state's exhibit number 1 is admitted.
Judge, for the record, I also emailed state's exhibit number 1, forward that to defense counsel a couple months ago.
All right.
Yes.
All right, we'll see you all then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nicholas Borja or Borja.
Ready, Judge?
All right, probation. This is an application. Court is calling 2023 CR 6993, State of Texas versus Nicholas Rivera Borja. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Warren Wolf for Mr. Borja.
Are you Mr. Borja?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
We have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Did you understand you're charged by indictment with possession of a controlled substance? Penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. That's a 2nd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Judge.
According to the plea, the state recommends deferred adjudication. They're asking for $57 restitution to SAPD for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years and that there be a TAP evaluation. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea?
Your Honor, I offer state's exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objection.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. All right, proceeding with sentencing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, he is a native of Guam, which is a U.S. territory. He's moved to Texas for the last 3 years. He's been actively working, currently employed at Hollingsworth the last 6 months, previously at J.B. Hunt. This is an aberration, and we ask that you follow the plea bargain. I asked him if he would test positive for any controlled substances today, and he said no. And I believe I explained to him the requirements of a drug-related probation deferred classes, testing, and he understands them fully. And I believe he'll be able to successfully complete the terms of deferred and even hopefully come in sooner and ask for early termination. I explained that to him as well.
All right. So do you have any criminal history?
Parole history?
I'm sorry,
You said parole history?
criminal history.
No,
Have you ever been charged with any crime other than this?
No.
All right. When you're drug tested today, and you will get drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
negative.
All right. When's the last time you used?
That would be
And that would be an illegal.
No. When's the last time you used drugs?
a month before this happened.
So you're telling me you were riding around with drugs in your car and you hadn't used, and that officer is saying you had a lighter underneath your leg?
It was in my car.
Yes. So when's the last time you used drugs?
A month before.
I'm sorry?
A month before.
So you hadn't used
No,
drugs
the
that
lighter
day?
was for my cigarette.
I'm sorry?
The lighter was for my cigarette.
So you're saying that you have not used any drugs since a month before this incident?
Besides marijuana.
That's a drug. So when's the last time you used marijuana?
That would be the day of.
All right, so let me explain something to you. I'm trying to figure out what conditions to give you because I don't do cookie cutter conditions. Everybody doesn't get the same thing in this court because everybody's an individual. So we're going to start back over. I'm inclined to grant your application for deferred, but I need to know what type of candidate you would be on deferred. And if you have a drug or alcohol problem, I don't want to send you out in the world with you telling me you have a drug problem. I'm like, just do whatever.
Mhm.
But if you tell me that you're going to test negative, I am going to test you. And if it ends up being positive, we're going to have a problem.
Mhm.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So when's the last time you used? And I'm just asking for honesty here because I'm trying to give you conditions on probation that will help you successfully complete your probation. That's my job.
Mhm.
If you have a drug problem and you tell me you have a drug problem and I don't give you any help for that and you fail with drugs, that's on me. But if you are dishonest with me and you fail on drugs, that's 100% on you. So are you going to be positive today? No.
What?
Excuse me. Are you going to be positive today because you are getting a drug test today?
Yes.
What are you going to be positive for?
I don't know.
All right. Anything else?
That would be all.
All right.
Maybe alcohol.
All right. Alcohol. Anything else?
That would be all.
All right. Before we continue with your sentencing, I'm going to have him drug tested. And then we'll see where we are. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Probation. If we can get a drug test, Mr. Borja, you need to provide the court with the UA. Do you understand? We will be here all day until you provide that UA. All right, Mr. Borja coming up. Where's his attorney? Oh, there he is. All right, we're back on the record in 2023, CR 6993, State of Texas versus Nicholas Borja. My understanding, you completed the UA?
Yes.
All right.
He was having some trouble, Judge. He was nervous. It took a while.
Oh, that's okay. It happens. Oh, what are the results?
Positive for me.
All right. So you didn't mention the meth to the court. So how often are you using meth?
It was in the form.
And
of
you're
the
still
act.
under oath. How often are you using meth?
Well, I did that like a couple days ago.
Okay, you need to speak up. I'm
I
sorry.
did that a couple days ago.
All right. So how often do you use?
I'd say weekly.
All right. Why were you dishonest with me? I'm just trying to give you the help you need. I already told you I was inclined to grant your application. If I send you out in the world and you have a meth problem and I don't give you help for that, you're going to be right back here on a motion to revoke because meth is illegal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
I work at Hollingsworth. We package Ford parts.
Okay. How long have you been doing that?
6 months.
All right. Do they drug test?
Yes.
And you're passing their drug test? Okay. Do you live with anyone or do you live by yourself?
I stay with my family and friend.
All right. Do you have any children?
No,
How far did you go in school?
high school.
What are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Well, I was planning on moving to Florida, but the rest of my life, I don't know yet. Still
Well,
figuring that out.
you say planning to move to Florida. Do you have family in Florida, or that's just a dream?
I have family.
Who's your family in Florida?
My brother.
All right. Have you talked to your brother? Does your brother want you in Florida with him?
Yes.
All right. What part of Florida?
Sarasota.
What county is that?
I'm not too sure.
See, part of getting ready to move to a place, you got to know what county or parish it is. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. This is what the court will do. Court will sentence you to 4 years deferred adjudication, $0 fine, $57 restitution to SAPD for drug testing, transfer to Sarasota, Florida. I'll have to look up to see what county that is. You are not transferred and you cannot go to Florida until the transfer is actually granted. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I'm going to want 90 sober meetings in 90 days, a TAP evaluation. We'll follow the recommendations of TAP. If TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. If it recommends intensive outpatient treatment, we'll start with outpatient treatment. And regular UAs. And I say regular UAs, I want UAs on him once a month, but I want them to be random once a month. Okay. Oh, then I guess I should have said random monthly UAs. That makes it easy, right? So we'll do random monthly UAs because I think he is able to beat the test at his job. So we're going to do field visits 1 time per month until transfer. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And I'm putting that down because until you're clean and sober, you should not be around minors. You understand?
Yes.
All right. Well, you can be around minors, but there has to be an adult supervision. Once you're clean and sober, and that's been brought to my attention, then that may change. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
You sure? Any mental health issues that you need addressed through probation or anything of that nature? Any trauma?
No, ma'am.
All right. We can go off the record. From here on out, everything that you do, you need to ask yourself 2 questions. 1, is this something that could result in me going to prison for 20 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. And the next time you're before a judge or before me, when somebody is trying to help you and you think they're trying to help you, you need to be honest with them. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, guys, we are done for today.
Will you hand me my screen box?
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it?
No.
Okay.
I have no patience for that. And trust me, out of the day, I'm sitting up here, I'm the one that needs a drink.